405C from 7 meter, 2.7. Execution scores, 5, 5, 5, 4 1/2. Synchronization scores, 4 1/2, 5, 5, 5, 5. Casey and Tristan, 203B from 5 meter, 2.3. Execution scores, 4, 5, 4 1/2, 4 1/2. Synchronization scores, 5 1/2, 4 1/2, 5, 5 1/2, 5 1/2. Kendall and Noah, 405C from 7 meter, 2.7. Execution scores, 6, 5 1/2, 5 1/2, 5. Synchronization scores, 7, 6 1/2, 5 1/2, 6 1/2, 6 1/2. Caleb and Jonathan, 205C from 5 meter, 3.0. Execution scores, 3 1/2, 4 1/2, 4, 3 1/2. Synchronization scores, 4, 5 1/2, 4. Synchro judge 2 is a 4 1/2, 4 1/2, 4 1, 4, 4. Synchro judges, please hold up your scores again. Synchro judge scores 4, 4 1/2, 4 1/2, 4, 4. Duncan and Devin, 203B from 5 meter, 2.3. Execution scores, 5 1/2, 5 1/2, 4, 4. Synchronization scores, 4, 4 1/2, 4, 4, 4. Kendall and Jonathan, 405C from 7 meter, 2.7. Execution scores, 7, 6, 6, 6. Synchronization scores, 7, 7 1/2, 6 1/2, 7, 7 1/2. Jacob and Keegan, 207C from 10 meter, 3.3. Execution scores, 2 1/2, 2 1/2, 4 1/2, 4. Synchronization scores, 3 1/2, 4 1/2, 3 1/2, 3, 3. Lyle and Noah, 205C from 5 meter, 3.0. Execution scores, 4 1/2, 5, 6 1/2, 6. Synchronization scores, 6, 5, 6, 5 1/2, 5. Benjamin and Maxwell, 207C from 10 meter, 3.3. Execution scores, 7 1/2, 7, 6, 6 1/2. Synchronization scores, 7, 7 1/2, 7, 7, 7. Beginning our 6th and final round, Noah and Jonathan, 52-33D from 7 meter, 2.4. Execution scores, 6, 5 1/2, 6, 5. Synchronization scores, 6, 5 1/2, 5, 5 1/2, 5 1/2. William and Tom, 203B from 5 meter, 2.3. Execution scores, 4, 4 1/2, 6, 5. Synchronization scores, 6, 6. 5 1/2, 5 1/2, 5 1/2. Logan and Campbell, 52-35D from 7 meter, 2.8. Execution scores, 5, 5 1/2, 6, 5 1/2. Synchronization scores, 6, 6, 6, 5 1/2, 5. Casey and Tristan, 405C from 7 meter, 2.7. Execution scores, 5 1/2, 5, 5 1/2, 5 1/2. Synchronization scores, 5 1/2, 5, 5 1/2, 5, 6 1/2. Kendall and Noah, 52-31D from 5 meter, 2.1. Execution scores, 4 1/2, 4 1/2, 6, 5 1/2. Synchronization scores, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5 1/2. Caleb and Jonathan, 405C from 7 meter, 2.7. all 13 and under girls platform finalists and 13 and under boys 3-meter finalists please report for introductions. Execution scores are 5, 5, 5 1/2, 6. Synchronization scores 6 1/2, 6, 5 1/2, 5 1/2, 5 1/2. Duncan and Devin, 52, 33D from 7-meter, 2.4. Execution scores 4, 3 1/2, 6 1/2, 7. Synchronization scores 5, 4 1/2, 4 1/2, 4 1/2, 3 1/2. Kendall and Jonathan, 303C from 5-meter, 2.1. Again, all 13 and under finalists, please report behind the platforms. Execution scores 5 1/2, 5 1/2, 5 1/2, 4. Synchronization scores 5 1/2, 4, 5, 4 1/2, 5. Jacob and Keegan, 51, 52B from 10-meter, 2.9. Execution scores 5 1/2, 5 1/2, 5 1/2, 5 1/2. Synchronization scores 6, 5 1/2, 6, 6, 6. Lyle and Noah, 405C from 5-meter, 3.1. Execution scores 6, 6, 6, 6. Synchronization scores 6, 6 1/2, 6 1/2, 6, 6. Benjamin and Maxwell, 52, 53B from 10-meter, 3.2. Execution scores 6, 5 1/2, 7 1/2, 7 1/2. Synchronization scores 7, 6 1/2, 7 1/2, 7 1/2, 8. This concludes the 14-18 boys synchro platform final. The next event will begin in approximately half an hour, 7:15.